Back to O.M.A Medical Studio, and today we are on a
Hello,
first
welcome
episode
to
on a new
O.M.A
content
Medical
we want to bring to our
Studio,
patrons and the
providing you
public.
with all
Basic
your health
emergency tips from the camp of O.M.A
tips.
Medical Studios. And today, this particular presentation is going to be done by myself, Eben the Cow Prince. Okay, he's a clinician, he's a practitioner. So today he's going to give us more insights on what you are supposed to know. All right, so on our first episode on this particular content, we aim to talk about the emergency tips in snake bites. As you all know, snake, I mean, one way or the other, some of us may have suffered bites from so many sources. Today, specifically, we want to talk about snake bites. And snake bites can either be poisonous or non poisonous. It depends on the type of snake that you got into contact with. But that's not our problem. Our problem is what are we supposed to do? What are we not supposed to do? Those are the things we want to talk about. And why is this important for us to talk about? You know, when you look at the statistics as per 2023 September, the WHO statistics on snake bites, you realize that per each year we have over 5 million people suffering from snake bites or bitten by snake. And out of these 5 million people, we have over 2 million of them coming out as poisonous snake bites or venomous snake bites. And the interesting part of this 2 million people suffering from this snake bite is that over thousands of them, 137,000 of them die as snake bite. Not to even talk about those who suffer from disabilities and then multiple organ failures and all. They have to live with it for several years of their lives. So this is very alarming.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something we need to talk about.
And it's true. It's very alarming because imagine the huge numbers, the millions getting bitten by snake
Exactly. Yeah.
within a year, and
Within a
those
year.
who are dying from it, and those who are getting it from it. What makes it worse and alarming is that majority of the people affected are children, and should I say our parents or our friends or our relatives who are into agriculture, who goes to the farm every day in day out. You realize we live in a country where agriculture is basically our primary work that we're doing here. Even all those literate ones, the lawyers and doctors and judges, they all farm. And you realize most of the corporates are those who go to the farm. And that's where most of the snakes are, except the few snakes you have in your house, you know. Yeah,
Wow.
it's very well.
That's true.
Yes, but you realize most of those affected are such people, and with this, it's an issue, and it's something we need to, or we ought to talk about. And after being bitten by the snake, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You realize some of the complications, some of the things that can come out easily is amputation. You get if the snake bites your leg, you get your leg being amputated, right? You have to go with.
Yeah, especially with the poisonous snakes.
You understand?
And you know, come to think of it, I feel most of these things are preventable.
Yes.
Most of these complications, the death rates, most of it are preventable.
Yes.
And then in another way, I feel like most of it can also be facilitated by us, like the victims when they get the bites or when they get bitten by the snake. Some of the things they do or some of the things we do expose us to this kind of complications and all of that.
That's very true.
And I think that's the reason why we're here.
Yes.
So the aim today is not to talk about getting bitten by a snake bite or something, but then okay, the snake has bite you. What did you do and what are you supposed to do? Did you do the right thing or you didn't? So what are even the right things to do?
And basically, we are not here to, let's say, should I say, crucify you or charge you and say, to you, you think what you're doing is right. You understand? Until
you have your reasons.
Yeah, you have your reasons. And yes, you are right. You are trying to help. But sometimes the things we think we are doing to help may be not may be harming us more than maybe doing more harm than good.
Most science lecturers would say your answers are not wrong until you prove them.
Yes, you understand. So yes, like you were saying, you have to look at certain things that we do, and sometimes one of the things we do, which is very wrong, is we trying to trap the snake. the snake especially being alive, you understand?
Yeah.
Because trying to catch a snake and bring the snake around to come and show yes you've caught the snake and you always say a hungry man is an angry man and an angry man will do anything to survive. So imagine a snake who
getting a snake angry.
Yes, a snake angry and at the point where it's realized
It's threatened. At the point it feels threatened, it prepares its venom ready to eject. So the moment it gets exposed to the next person is gone in seconds.
And when you continue to do the things you are doing, you realize you're going to have the next person is going to have the next person. So yes, one thing you're not supposed to do is to try and
trap or try to catch the snake or something.
The best you can do is if you're able to kill the snake, you take a picture of it, or you take notice of the snake, either the color or whatever. So that when you take a person to a hospital or a clinic or wherever, you can tell them, oh, the snake, the fact the snake is green, is brown, and the practitioner, whoever is the doctor, whoever is, will have an idea about what the snake is and try to know what.
Another common thing me personally I've come to realize when it comes to snake bite is the tourniquet. Like in simple terms, people tie something, very distant from the point of bite or very far from the point of bite. Right? So let's say the bite is here, they tie the thing here with the aim that the venom will not travel from that particular side to the next side.
Okay.
In a way, it makes sense. But it's one of you see, when we talk about health, we talk about things that causes less harm than good.
Yes.
And the harm these tourniquets can cause over time is very dangerous. I've seen a case where the guy was in a trap. I can't imagine how he was able to tie the tourniquet without moving the trap. He tied the tourniquet and then he came to the hospital emergency and he had even forgotten. And from the way we tried to even cut through the trap. He refused until we asked him to remove it. And it took him time to remove it. And after removing, we realized there was a very tight tourniquet there. And we could see that his leg was heavy. The leg has been numbed very long time, you get it. And these complications can even lead to amputation.
Yes,
especially if the snake is poison.
Yes, even aside that, because once you tie the tourniquet at the site, you realize blood flow to that part of the body. It's limited. So many the tissues at the other parts can get damaged.
They are blocking supply to that side. And the aim with which they do that is basically not allowing the venom to spread. They are blocking blood flow. And you see, the part the snake venom travel with blood, they majorly do not travel through blood. They through our subcutaneous tissue, which is very technical. Like it's beneath the skin. That's where they travel through. Then you have to block all the skin or something. So these things might not really help as we think they help. So these are some. Yes. These two things we should avoid.
And also or slice the area between sides. Like I imagine, the thing is because the thing is poisonous. You understand? Like something which is poisonous, then you yourself know getting into somebody's body is going to.
So I think some of these herbal people
and you try to suck
the venom.
Into
let's give the benefit of the doubt. Stacking the venom with the aim of reducing venom concentration in blood and all of that. But my issue is with what you said, like trying to slash. Poisonous snake have what we call fangs.
Yeah.
That indicates that they are poisonous, and then they have released something into you. So you step on a snake or a snake bites you. The fangs are the traces of a poisonous snake. It can be one, it can be two, but commonly we have the two. Have you seen the fang, the one single fang? Commonly you don't see them. Those snakes are really money. They are expensive snakes. All right. So these fangs are to let your physicians or your doctors identify that indeed you are bitten by a poisonous snake or not. Now you take a blade, a knife, and you slash through these fangs. how did you get to know it's a puncture site or you are just the one who treated it? So then again, it's so if the poison is not that much and the symptoms of the poison or what we call envenomation do not occur at that instant at the hospital, the physician might probably, especially if you get to a very busy place, they might probably tell you to go home and come back and come back with complications because the symptoms are not shown due to the concentration of the venom in you. Because they were not able to detect whether it was actually a fang mark or basically you are the one who caught it. Then indeed you are going to confirm that you are the one who caught it. Did you catch a fang mark? You can't detect because you don't know what the fang mark is. Very true. And that's very dangerous. I mean that's the danger about it. And this kind of act predisposes to a lot of complications. So we ought to stop. Yeah. I mean you suffer from it's blood going to all parts of your body, your organs. So you suffer from multiple organ dysfunctions and all of that. You stop.
You have to stop. You have to stop. And you know, so the things, first of all, the things you said already, you have to stop tying the affected area with a tourniquet, what you call with a rope or with a rope or whatever.
Trying to trap the snake, trying to slash through the fang marks or the bites, the bitten sides, and then
you have to stop. And also one thing you they apply creams and other substances,
chili or something.
Other substances. That's the area.
They're contaminating that side.
Yes, and you don't even know what you are applying, the substance and the chemical components of whatever you are applying to the area.
And you see, come to think of it, the cutting, which me that thing people commonly do it. I mean, when you cut the site, snake, one of the complications is to make you bleed. Yes. And sometimes one of the very emergency things we check is your bleeding this clotting time or something. I mean, in common terms, the rate as the time it takes for your blood to clot. Yes, that's one of the key things, and that's one of the complications of poisonous snake bites. They basically increase your clotting time. So at the end of the day, your blood doesn't clot well. So you have the tendency to bleed more. So if this snake is poisonous and it's predisposing you to that, then you cut it. You're facilitating these things. Yes. And you see, you cut yourself and the bleeding will not stop. You bleed down.
And even aside that is, what if I was the one bitten and I have a bleeding disorder? You don't know. Nobody knows.
Yes. And you are there to help me.
Myself, listen, my relatives, and you are the one there to help me. And you
just cut it. I mean, let's even take the health. I mean, you are exposing this person to danger.
I understand. Yes. So yes, and so applying substance.
Avoid this all of this. And then now, okay, so now we've come up with what we shouldn't do, what we do, and then they are not right, and then the fact is that we shouldn't do them. Let's talk about what we should do
because we can't just leave you like I tell you, don't do this. Then what's your okay? I don't know
what should you things to do you can also put yourself away from all these complications we have spoken about. I mean, let's list the complications: multiple organ dysfunction, paralysis, amputation. It can affect brain diseases, all of that, your kidneys, all of that. I mean, you can die simple. Look at the statistics. About thousands of people, 100,000s of people dying because of snake bites each year. That's one of the things. So let's talk about, I mean, someone has gotten a snake bite. There are two things involved. Let's say the person is far away from a hospital facility or a clinic. And then another person is very close to the clinic. They all have snake bites. Yeah. So these people, what are they supposed to do? I mean, each of them, what is each of them supposed to do?
Yeah, so first of all, one of the basic things, as I've already talked about, you looking at knowing the color of the snake or looking at it, when you get to hospital, you can tell. But another that's when you get to hospital. You're in the house. You know, one of the basic things you can do is just clean the area with soap and water.
Yeah, just warm the water.
Yes, don't scrub.
That's when you are far away from the
hospital. Don't wear a scrub, like don't brush or with just normal washing with the just washing.
When you go to the hospital, Savlon, normal
can just get just wash the area with just soap, just wash the area with just soap and water. you are good to go. Don't try to tie the leg with anything. And
Then to add up to it, you just after washing and doing all of that, cover it with a very tidy thing, a very clean thing. Maybe it could be a tissue, it could be a handkerchief, like clean thing. Just then you can get to the nearby hospital.
And also you have to keep the person calm. I think it's very necessary and very important. You have to keep the person calm in a sense that once you are agitated or
before you even talk about going to cleanse the surface.
Because if I'm not calm and agitated, my blood pressure, what you will say, will be young to sing when you say, you all know that it's basic that's a need precaution. You say those things because the blood flow increases. You understand? So once it's doing that,
the heart rate is high, pumping rate is high. So basically, the ideal thing and the first thing to do is if you are the victim, you try to keep calm yourself.
Yes.
Relax.
Yes.
If you are not the victim and you are the one helping the victim, try to keep the person calm. Try to calm the person. Oh, you'll be fine. Don't worry. Just try to calm the person. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to increase the rate at which the blood should travel.
The poison will move into the other parts of the body. You want to reduce that. So once you are calm, it's at least slows the rate at which it will travel through your body, so that you can get enough time to get to the hospital for the necessary things to be done to save your life.
Yeah, and you try to clear the victim's side below the heart level of the heart. I mean, with this one, people commonly adhere to it. They won't raise the leg.
Yes.
So this just these few things, and
you also have to remove any bracelets or jewelry.
Yeah, that's around the size of my clothes. That's very tight too.
Because you all know when you get bitten by snakes, sometimes, not most of the time, or should I say most of the times, but not always, the parts can swell. So if you have any tight jewelry around that area, if you're removing them, we're going to be another thing, you understand?
You see, so it comes back to the first. Why are we even removing and then you are going to tie the area. So there are very few things you should do to get yourself out of all these complications. One, be calm. If you are the victim, be calm. If you are not the victim and you happen to be the one helping the victim, try to keep the person calm. And try to remove, as he said, any bracelet or tight things around the site of bite. Clean the site of bite with warm water with soap. Just clean it. Don't go and scratch the surface. Clean the site of bite. Then cover the site of bite. The very clean towel, anything. It could be a handkerchief, it could be a tissue. Very clean one, not a dirty one. And avoid applying foreign substances, creams and all other things onto the surface. Avoid splashing.
They apply this plant or champon.
I think a champon is to stop bleeding.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean it's okay. And also we spoke about avoiding slashing of the puncture side or the bitten side. Avoid all of these things. Once you are done cleaning the site, close to a nearby hospital or facility or clinic, just get there. The appropriate treatment to be given, the appropriate labs will be requested, and you are good to go. And 80 to 90% of the complications are prevented from here. From doing all of this, you have blocked 80 to 90% of these complications.
And one thing we also want you to know is that once you are bitten by snake, regardless of the size, the shape, the color of the snake, please go to the hospital for you to be assessed 100%. Just go. Even if
the fact that the snake is not doesn't mean they can't transmit.
Yes, and even if the snake bites or beats you right now, and you feel like so once you are bitten by a snake, you understand. Even if you can carry the building, please just stop and go to the hospital, because it's not always that it's not magic that once you are bitten the bad symptoms or the bad consequences which you ought
Yeah.
not to see will happen.
Will happen.
So you think once I'm meeting by the snake, maybe I can't
Everything should
believe
happen.
it. My leg will show, I can't lift my leg and those things. Nah,
Even if it will happen, it takes time.
it's a
That's why
process.
we are trying to do all these things to prevent some of these complications from occurring. Once you're able to go through this, see, if you compare two people, one going through this process, one the other not going through this process, I mean, you see the difference. There are a lot of I mean, there have been cases. I'm sure you come across so many cases where the person got beaten, felt like I mean,
I'm good.
it's not even about
Yeah.
the person felt like I've seen the case where the person felt like okay, the snake was small and he didn't see the snake a pointer side. He felt the bites, but then he felt like he didn't go deep. So he went home. Come, see, less than 12 hours. He came back with huge swelling of the leg. There he was fine. I don't know why.
I don't know
He
how
had
to
to transfuse FFPs
Okay.
because the platelet, the clotting time and other things were just damaging like that. They were just getting abnormal times and all of that for the clotting time. And you see, all these things are due to the delays and probably feeling like if your emotions will not determine the poison
That one, yes.
or how the poison will affect you. So please, these are the few things you need to do, and then the few things you are not supposed to do. This is what O.M.A medicals to do. Like we said earlier, the first episode of Basic Emergency Tips. And trust me, we are going to come with a lot of these things. And
There's more to come.
Yes. You get to understand that there's a lot of things we do which do not help to prevent complications. And there are very few things we should do to put ourselves away from all these complications. And then we are good to go. So please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do what to subscribe, hit the notification bar, and then be ready for the next episode. Once again, I'm Ebenezer, and then
I'm Prince.
Yes.
See you on the next episode. Subscribe.